Good morning, friends. Happy June 1st, and happy 30 days of celebration if you're gay. You got a whole month to party. You're the only special people in America that get a whole month. Christians get Christmas, uh, maybe Easter, 2 days for Christians. Pagans get one day, Halloween. Um, American patriots get 2 days, 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Jews get Yom Kippur, uh, Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, and Passover. At least 4 days. Black people get Martin Luther King Day. And gay people get 30 days. Yeah. I think that's about the math, isn't it? Oh. Um, hey, Knives. Oh, last night was epic. The 2.5 hours, I really went deep. I went super black pill. It might have been my most black pill. I went all the way from well, I think sunspots to polar shift and 90% of the world dying. I think that's where we ended up. Chairman Ping Pao told me I missed a great stream. Oh, you did. You did miss a good stream. Well, it's not missing because it's right there in my archive. I had a funny tweet today. The lady Caitlin, who interviewed Trump, there's a picture of her and it just doesn't look like her. It looks like her brother. And I said, some heroes don't wear capes, they wear boxers. Oh. I got 2 phone calls from the sheriff, just making sure I'm okay. One at 9 o'clock and one at 10 o'clock. He's got a great attitude. I forgot his name. It's funny. I have a memory for numbers. I don't have a memory for alphabet. So if he told me his badge number, I would remember that. But the name, I got to work on names. I got to do what they call memory anchors. Like if his name was Steve, I think of a famous person, a famous Steve. Well, I think the crocodile hunter from Australia is Steve. You're 2 subs away from 800. Yeah, that's right. Ferrari York. We're getting close. And I have over 4,000 hours in the last year, so I qualify on hours. The swattings do affect me in a bad way because they make basically my mind is like, what is going on? So it just hijacks my brain for these few hours it's going on. Will there be more? Is the sheriff going to come out in person for the third call just to double check because they had 2 other calls? I worry. I'll be like, am I going to walk outside to get more screws? And they'll be like, he's got a screw gun! Quick! Drop the screw gun, Wayne. Construction's not worth it. You've got more to live for than construction. Drop the screw gun. I'm not dropping the screw gun. It's Ryobi. It's plastic. It'll break. Drop the screw gun. No, it's Ryobi. It'll break. Bang, 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 bang. Why'd you kill him? He wouldn't drop the screw gun. He was going to do construction. I'm losing it, friends. I'm losing it. I thought, well, the sheriff is, we're just here to help. I asked him, I'm like, so if this happens another 100 more times, are you going to call me another 100 times? And he said, yes. And I said, as kids, we're taught the sky is falling. And the sheriff said, hey, we're also taught the boy who cried wolf. I said, I'm sorry, because it's okay. I know it's not you. So I actually talked for another half hour about Anthony, who came out here to kill me. He drove from the Bay Area, 800 miles, 600 miles, and had a gun in the car and was suicidal. And then he said he was going to, they told him to go shoot up a synagogue. And I told him the story, the deputy, about the Tops grocery store in New York City where the young man killed the black people. Well, that kid, he was being groomed in a server called Entropy. And there's a picture of my landlord on one of the avatars of one of the members of the Entropy server. And I don't think it's my old landlord, Phil. It is his photo. And people who have been stalking me have been pretending to be him with his photo to wind me up. So they remind me of the pain I suffer from him betraying me and stealing my motorhome and my other property. It's insane. Like, I can come get my stuff, but I can't. I can't enter the property, but I can hire people with all the endless money I have to go get my stuff. He's insane. He's just a jerk. He's a super big jerk. He's abused people. He's hurt people. He's actually done criminal things, like the clandestine drug laboratory, I think, is at least 5 years in jail. He put all the neighbors' lives in danger. But the world, like, the sheriff says they want to help me. We're just calling to make sure you're okay, Wayne. Well, where were you when, like, one night at 9:00 at night, somebody started shooting, like, target practice on the other side of the hill, which is about 2,000 feet away, within the range of bullets. They could have gone to the hill and started shooting in this direction, not knowing there's somebody living here, because thinking it's an abandoned. If they thought they're shooting at an abandoned house, I mean, I got lights and stuff. But anyways, I called the sheriff. I called him about 11 o'clock. And I'm like, I was going to call you earlier because people were shooting. And I thought they'd stop, but they still haven't stopped. It's 11 o'clock at night, and they're shooting guns. And it's like, it sounds like a 6-shooter, because it's 6 shots, then they reload, or it could be a shotgun. Then I got these mountains, and they were walking up the mountain. There was 3 men. I could hear them talking, and there was 2 flashlights and 3 voices. And those mountains are actually, the rocks are really sharp. You couldn't do it barefoot. And if you fell, you'd actually get like a puncture cut. So they're walking on very sharp mountains at night. What are they doing up there? I guess they're just thinking, and they're in the middle of the desert by themselves. And but the sheriff wouldn't come out. He says, well, Wayne, it's not illegal to shoot guns in the desert because they're not within 1,000 feet of your property. I'm like, well, okay, that's the law. But isn't it weird? It's not their property. It's Bureau of Land Management. It's federal land. I don't think there's a rule that you can just go camp on federal land. I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, but they're shooting guns. Like, it's creating anxiety for me. And then when they came off the mountain, they went and shot more guns. So they were shooting guns till midnight. Like, they probably shot 700 rounds, and the sheriff wouldn't come out. And I had asked the sheriff, can you come out and talk to him? Like, no. So in the morning, I called the sheriff, and I'm like, they're still shooting. And they wouldn't come out. It was probably the people harassing me to come out here and harass me more, to just wind me up. I don't know. So then we have so that's one incident where they went and helped me. The other incident where they went and helped me is Anthony. I asked them to arrest Anthony. Anthony brought a gun to my home. He was drinking and driving. The people he live broadcast coming to my home, walking up the driveway. He doxed me. He published my home address on the internet. He crashed his car. He had blood drawn because he had the thing on his arm. He had the wristband, and he was suicidal. And the sheriff said, well, Wayne, if you want to file a report for trespassing, you can come to our office and request a form and we'll give it to you. I'm like, I actually don't have money to drive to you guys to do this. Maybe you can bring it with you on the next visit to me. No, not going to do that. Then on January 5th this year, I had a date with a nice Jewish woman, and she ended up not wanting to see me because when I came home, I told her the next day what happened. When I came home, because I had shaved my face, the mirror that I used got shot up. And the day before the date, somebody says, Wayne, I'm going to come to your home and murder you tomorrow. And then they came here. And I think it's actually Cloud Sprout. Because Cloud Sprout has told me, I'm driving by your house right now. I was going to stop by, but I'm on my way to someplace else. And he seems super unhinged. And he posted a photo of the shoe that matches the footprint that was here. I gave all this to the sheriff. They're not like, hey, that looks like a pretty good lead, Wayne. We'll look into it. None of that. Like crickets. It's like, Wayne, we printed your emails and we put them in the round file trash can. I just don't know what's going. Like, since there's no communication, it just here's when a woman breaks up with you, or you say, hey, let's go out, and she's like, just walks away, not talking to you. She's not interested, right? And so if you keep asking the woman out, you become a stalker. That's against the law. Like, leave her alone. She's not interested. You asked her, she said no, move on. But if you keep pursuing the person, then that's stalking. That's gang stalking. That's harassment. So when the sheriff's office doesn't get back to me, I've got 20 emails to them with different evidence and screenshots of each of these incidences, and they don't give me a professional, we got your information, Wayne. It makes me think they're like a woman who doesn't want to date me. And so I'm like, okay, I got the message. I actually quit sending them information. I just sent it to a different agency. Maybe I shouldn't even take their calls anymore, because then they'll have to drive out. Well, why don't you take the call, Wayne? Well, why don't you return my email? Like, I know how to be a giant asshole. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be flexible and understanding and work with them, but they're not doing it with me. Well, knives, discharging a firearm within 1,000 feet of a residence is a crime. So it's an arrestable offense. Well, it's the 1,000-foot rule. If people start getting arrested and we know who they are, that would send a message to the other people doing. I think there's a gang of people doing this. So it would tell the gang of pranksters to stop. It's making my life difficult. I mean, I've got enough problems as I've got ADHD, okay? and I have trouble focusing. And I lost my medication because I got evicted at Phil's house, where I paid rent for 8 years. Okay, so I haven't been able to see a doctor in 2.5 years. This is how Phil has harmed me. Okay. Don't you have medical coverage now? Apparently I do. I just don't know how to. I don't have a doctor. I don't have a physical address to go to. If I'm injured, I go to the hospital. I don't have a doctor that's willing to see me that I'm aware of. I don't know where to go. Also, I don't have money to go anywhere. It costs me $30 to drive. I go to town once a month now because I have such little money, because they're hurting me. Nobody's like, the sheriff is billing the county probably $500,000 to drive out here to fuck with me. It would be better if they just gave me 5 or 10 grand so I could get my life in order. How about pay me 100 grand so I can move? Oh, hey, cruise control. What's going on? Taking any trips lately? Ferrari, why are you trying to change the subject? Telling me to discuss cooking trips, stuff. This is my way to vent. It cost me $30 to go to town. You've never been in a hopeless situation. You just don't know what it's like. It's daunting. You know, I'm a human being like everybody else. I got to eat. I gotta clean myself. I got to shower. Self-care. I've got to rest. I'm not getting good night's sleeps because I'm getting call. I got a call last night. No, the night before at 1:30 in the morning. Thanks, Spooky. Ferrari, I'm gonna mute you because you're talking. You're not acknowledging my pain. You're telling me to ignore it. So I'll put you in a timeout because I feel you're being negative to me. So when a person's in pain, you listen to their pain. If you try to say, well, shootings happen by me, and like, you're not acknowledging my pain. I'm the person in pain here. I'm in so much pain, I'm doing a fucking video to get my thoughts organized and to relax. I spent an hour being a satirical asshole, and I'm like, this is not productive. I mean, some of it was funny. I'll read some of my tweets. Target is celebrating Pride Month with 90% off all merchandise. Satire. It said Happy Gay Month, but I actually read it as Happy Gas Month, and I'm like, what? Happy Gas Month? And then I did another. On the third take, I saw the word gay. So I read it backwards. More satire here. It's time to take our nation back from straight people and give it back to the pedophiles. The new CEO of Twitter, I welcome censorship, and I said I also like fascism. I really don't like fascism. Nervy Lindsay, hello. Yeah, they want to silence me, for sure. Like, I would get a job, friends, if I lived in a city and, like, there was Home Depot and Walmart and whatever, all within a mile or two. Yeah, I'd get a job, but I would have to drive 3 hours every day just for the job. So it's not really practical where I'm living right now. So, I got evicted at Tom Gilmartin's house in Fullerton for paying my rent. He said he was going to break my legs. Then he turned off the internet and made my life difficult after I just paid a bunch of money to live in the backyard of his house in a tent. So, things aren't going my way because of the eviction from Phil. Phil fucked me. And these swatters fucked me over. They've been harassing Phil also. They were like, Phil, Wayne's posting this shit on Facebook. So they were sabotaging my life through Phil. Hey, Charles. This world bends over backwards to make sure gay people are safe and protected. Nobody's bending over backwards to make sure I'm safe and protected because I'm straight. Like, literally, it's insane what's going on. I just don't get it. Like, why does the sheriff, why don't they do something? Like, literally, I just don't understand. If they're so worried, why don't they put a patrol car out here 24 hours a day and then stop calling me? They can call the patrol car who's sitting here. Yeah, Wayne's fine. Nothing's going on. I just don't want to get calls every day from the sheriff. It ruins my day. It ruins my day because then I think they're going to ruin my day by killing me. If you go to a fishing hole 51 times and you don't catch a fish, you're going to get mad. Like, they come out here to arrest me. They don't care if I'm dead, well, then I'm dead, right? So who gives a shit about that? They're coming out here to arrest me. What they want to see is, oh, I'm crazy, I'm suicidal, arrested. That's all they care about. They just want to arrest somebody who is suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I'm furious. I'm angry. I'm angry about American politics. I'm angry about them attacking me. I'm being gang stalked by the Riverside Sheriff's Office, and it's the people who making the swatting calls. It's murder by proxy. It's gang stalking by proxy. And the sheriff's department is part of the abuse. But they're not smart enough they don't care. They just don't care. They're Nazis. I'm just following orders, Wayne. Get in the gas chamber. Jesus, it's my job. Please, just get in the gas chamber. I got a wife to feed too. Just get in the gas. I'm doing my job. They told me, just get in the gas chamber, Wayne. Like, they've lost their mind. I think I'm a little cranky because I gave up beef and chicken and pork. Like, some chicken would be really good right now. I didn't give it up. Well, I gave it up because I'm afraid they're putting hormones in there that could give you Peyronie's disease because of that medical thing 3 years ago, which was all legit. This is another legit thing. They're giving animals mRNA vaccinations, the thing they gave humans that made humans not so healthy. They've actually recalled that dangerous thing they gave humans because it was so dangerous. They're not doing it anymore. And so now we're giving it to the animals that you eat. Oh, knives is totally right. Gang stalking by the police and intimidation by Mossad sleeper cells and cyber abuse. Yeah, well, the flak is heaviest when you're over the target. They don't do this because I'm wrong. They do it because I'm right. The future's so bright, they're concerned. Like, if the world was fair and the media was just and did journalism, they would be like, well, there's an interesting candidate who's got all kinds of very interesting theories, knows a lot about science. It wouldn't harm us to show the public what he has to offer. Either we love him or we'll laugh at him. Either way, it's super good entertainment. I think that's actually, I think, a fair description of me. Either I'm wrong and you laugh at me, or I'm right and you get your mind blown and you get educated. There's no downside to listening to one of my theories about gravity or anti-gravity or 9/11. There's just a lot of truth. The internet was Pandora's box. They opened it and we're suffering the consequences. A grill and drink off stream would be cool. You could do it when you decide to eat meat again. Yeah. I did some investigation of what Peyronie's disease, Piron. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. Um, you can get it other ways too. What are some of the other ways? It wasn't just meat. Anyways, I can't remember. I don't know. Something so fishy, like I did a tweet about our government. I think I already said it though. Oh, no, I didn't say this. So in life, there are no rules. We can do anything we want, including having the government we want. The current set of laws are merely a suggestion written by pedophiles. Consider that. Yeah, like most of the laws on the books are from white slave owners, and some were pedophiles. Those are the laws that run our nation. Maybe we should update things. Positive things. I got the air conditioning going at 8:30 this morning. It's going to be it's 87 outside, 81 inside. I didn't get a full night's sleep. I got about 6 hours. It's going to have to be good enough. I do a lot of strategy thing. I do a lot of mental thinking. Some people write things. I do it all in my head. And so I need peace and quiet. And when I don't get peace and quiet, it sets me back in progress. So I lose my momentum. And that's where the gang stalking and the harassment comes in, and it destabilizes my life and it makes my life more difficult. Oh well. So I wanted to bring up three things the sheriff was unwilling to help me with. They weren't willing to go talk about somebody shooting a gun 600 times on Bureau of Land Management property. Close within hit. I mean, if they shot at my house, then I could die. It was within the distance of bullets having effect. The next time was Anthony coming here. Didn't do anything about that. And the third time was January 5th, the guy who shot up my mirror. They can be pulling the cell phone records and the video and see who got, just say whose cell phones were in the neighborhood and did they get off at the freeway exit? That's probably the suspect. And were they in this region? There's only 20 people who work up the street. I'm sure they're like the sheriff must have a book called Excuses. They have all kinds of excuses not to do anything. The word is befuddled. I'm befuddled. Maybe I'll do some not AutoCAD. It's called SketchUp, and I'll design my sunshade for the swimming pool today. Um, yeah, knives or orders from someone. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the command structure of sheriff's office is like, well, keep harassing Wayne. We'll get him to move out eventually. Hmm. I'm trying. I'm. Oh, I can tell you something I'm working on. Um, Either my friend Daniel's going to build this for me, or I'm going to have to build it myself. Just a listing of domain names for sale, and so you can come to. It's going to be at howtogetrich.com, and I'm turning howtogetrich.com into a domain marketplace, buying domains and selling domains. However, the price of the domain has to be under $200. So if you got some domains you want to get rid of, you can list them at no cost. And if you sell it, it's a 10% commission to me. Super affordable. I just put money in your pocket. You put some money in my pocket. And so the homepage, you'll just see something.com for $45. And then the thing that says discuss. And then there will be conversations about domain names. And that should drive some sales. And the owner of the domain names can log into their account and say, for sale, not for sale. It only turns to sold if somebody hits the buy button. And when the buy button is pushed, the seller's purchase information is revealed. Thank you for buying the domain, and here's the instructions on how to do it. Like my instructions are, send me Bitcoin first, then email me the receipt of the Bitcoin, and then I'll transfer it to your pork bun account. You have to have a pork bun account. I'm not going to transfer it to GoDaddy or other systems. But why? Because it's a pain in the ass. So instead of me going through the pain in the ass, you have to go through the pain in the ass of setting up a pork bun account. So those are my rules. It's so cheap. I'm not going to do $200 worth of my time and energy doing a domain transfer at some system I'm not familiar with when I can easily do it within the pork bun ecosystem. So that's my logic. And then, so how to get rich, domain marketplace, buying and selling. You pay me when it sells. And when somebody hits buy, then I write a program to create an invoice. So they purchased at that price, then you're invoiced that you owe me the money. And then it tells you how to make payment with the other person with links to Bitcoin, Cashapp, PayPal, Stripe. There will be many ways to pay, and I'll let the sellers choose how they want to be paid. I'm not going to manage the money at all. I'm never going to touch their money. So that's a very clean business model. I think that should work really well. Howtogetrich.com is a great name. That will drive traffic. Oh. So I also started the domain transfer and with setup with Cloudflare, 4chan.gay. So I'm going to start running my own 4chan. Not going to be as big as 4chan. I'm going to have just a few sections, politically incorrect, maybe do it yourself, X maybe, but 4chan.gay. That should be pretty funny. It might get traffic, it might not. I don't know. I'm open to selling it. Since I have to open a website and get it going, now the price to buy it's going to be $1,000. And X is paranormal. It's the paranormal section. It's actually where I learned gravity control. That's where the video was. Hello, it's Wayne. Oh, hold on. We're stop.
Hey, Wayne, this is John Cashapp.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm screaming away from your shot.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. We've met, right?
So we got another lead saying that you're going to shoot up Eagle Valley Elementary School, just making sure.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And there's been 2 swatting calls this morning.
got it. Anything that you can think of, maybe why you're getting swatted again this morning?
No reasons that I can think of.
Okay. Well, obviously, sorry to bother you
Oh, no.
your live stream, but
No, I'm fine. We've met, right?
yeah, I'm the one that came out
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
out there at center.
Right. I do have some ideas of who could be doing this. Like, it could be the guy from Kiwi Farms. I'll send an email to everybody with my new,
Okay,
with my new
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was a federal law enforcement group, and somebody called in a third saying I was going to shoot the school up the road. Yeah, that's the third one for the day, Charles. And so this one went to the national police system. I don't want to say their name. Saying I was going to commit a crime with a weapon at a school. For example, there's a high probability the person making the calls is in this chat group right now. So 3 today, and yesterday was 14 in 7 days. So now we're 17 in 8 days. That's a lot. It's about 5 visits. I'm probably going to have to come up with a call to visit ratio and put it on a chart. Okay, 17. Maybe it'll encourage the national police to work harder on this. The NSA knows who it is. They have the data. They're not allowed to give it for Fourth Amendment unlawful search and seizure, but they can be like, well, that house on the corner on this map, the one with the red car in the driveway, just send them a screenshot from a satellite. The one with the red car, it's that place. When did this start? Well, I'm going to say it started 7 years ago. But the swattings at this property started in April a year ago. But I was getting swatted in October 21 in San Francisco at my best friend's house. When I was living in Guerneville, before being evicted with no cause, without a summons, it turns out, I just want to, first of all, I got it. I paid my rent. I had $15,000 of money. I was a good tenant. I was the handyman on property. I babysit the property for my landlord for 8 years. I did all the renovations and fixing of everything. I remodeled his house. We bought a $6,000 kitchen from IKEA. I installed it, new appliances. I even installed a washing machine, a dishwasher with a panel. So you don't go, oh, dishwasher. You think it's a cupboard, but it's actually a dishwasher. So it was really a beautiful kitchen, just super elegant. And I did the tile work and it all looked beautiful. He didn't pay me for it. He evicted me. Said I started a fire and turned off the water. Total fucking lies. And I didn't get my day in court. So here's what I want to say is, Ruby Ridge, I just read something about Ruby Ridge. The FBI, who ended up shooting the people at Ruby Ridge, the legal justification for Ruby Ridge was he bought a sawed-off shotgun, and he wasn't given a summons to appear in court, so he didn't show up in court because he didn't know about it. And so they made the summons disappear. Same thing happening to me. So this must be an attorney trick where they find a corrupt person to say they served you, but they didn't serve you. So this must be one of these dirty legal tricks. And Phil is the dirtiest of scummy, dirty scumbags. He makes degenerate drug users look like upstanding citizens. He's absolutely the filth of the fucking earth. And Phil, if you're listening, you know it's true. I want my motorhome back. I want my tools back. And you need to pay me for all the resources I expended because of your abuse. I think I'm keeping a pretty positive attitude considering everything that's going on. Luckily, I'm blessed that it's so beautiful here. Does Santa Claus know? I don't know what Phil knows. I haven't talked to this guy in mostly 2 years. We had a few emails. I don't know what he thinks. I don't care what he thinks. No, Nerve, I'm not sure what you... So you think this is your stream related or someone you know personally? That doesn't make any sense to me. Rephrase your question. If you don't know this, Nerve Lindsay, my old landlord he went to law school. He's a college professor. He's currently a judge in arbitration. He's from the Bronx. He's 68 years old, and he ran a clandestine drug laboratory manufacturing illegal drugs, violating California Health and Safety Code 113796, D as in David, using volatile chemicals and solvents. And it was making cannabis extracts called shatter or wax. And California changed the law. It's the same as making methamphetamines, because things can blow up and start fires. And we lived in a forest area next to a national redwood forest park. He could have burned down the whole forest. The whole area is trees with this much dry needles, which is like gasoline. One spark, whole thing going up. So Phil did this drug business for 3 years with people from Virginia. So it was the product got shipped to Virginia. The crew was from Virginia. And when it was going on, I'm working at Safeway, some of the time. Well, why didn't you move? I didn't have money. I would have been homeless. So it was be homeless or live at a place that was doing a drug business. It's a terrible situation to put an innocent renter in. He on his 11 acres, there was like 6 people living there. Another house who had nothing to do with the drug business, he put them in danger. He actually evicted that person because that person, David Araujo, got angry that Phil over here was running the drug business. He's like, you're putting us all in danger. Somebody could come here with guns and shoot up the place to steal the drugs. It could blow up. So he put so many lives in danger. But David Araujo was also an asshole. He pointed a gun at my head. He used to be Phil's handyman, and he hated Phil. And I used to think his hatred was unreasonable. Now I know why he hates Phil, because Phil is an absolute backstabber. He's a liar, a pathological liar. I have all this evidence that I could back up in court, but I don't have any money. Like when you're next to being homeless and no money, attorney, if I was a black transgender man, maybe a woman, they'd help me, but I'm not. So I'm not considered a minority. I'm a Jew, but my landlord's a Jew. So Jews have a rule that they won't sue other Jews. It's just a really weird situation. How long have I been streaming? 45 minutes. Well, I think there's a high probability that the people calling in the calls watch my stream because they want to know if they're affecting me. And then people say, well, why don't you quit streaming? This is my life, god damn it. I'm a fucking early internet pioneer. I'm a Toastmaster. I use my spoken voice to communicate with people. This is my free speech. I'm not going to change my life because I'm being a victim. What they want me to do is be victimized and not talk about it. My ex-girlfriend's a suspect. She wouldn't talk to the FBI. And she kept telling me, Wayne, quit streaming, quit running for president, be quiet, get off the internet. The internet's my life. If I told her to get off the internet, I had that conversation with her. She's like, I'm not the one with the problem, Wayne. Like, quit judging me, calling me I have a problem with my communication, because it's all because I'm running for president. Like, literally, they're super afraid of a normal person who isn't under their black magic spell running for president, that I could actually awaken people from their hypnosis. That's what they're afraid of. You might not know this, but cable news and the news stations, those people, the newscasters, they call themselves journalists, and they're not. They're not allowed to express their personal opinions. They'll be fired. They can only talk about what's on the script. They can't talk about 9/11 or Building 7. They can't say, well, where's the video footage of the Pentagon? The Pentagon probably has 200 cameras pointed at it, but there's no footage. Why are they hiding what flew into the Pentagon? Well, the answer is it's not a 757. It's a cruise missile. Well, who has access to cruise missiles? I'll tell you who doesn't. Osama bin Laden. Mr. Flip-Flops made his own cruise missile. He's living in a cave. His biggest worries are washing his turban, taking a bath. He doesn't have a home. He doesn't have electricity. So it's not Osama bin Laden, who was a CIA asset who went to war against Russia as the Mujahideen, and we gave him 1,400 Stinger missiles to shoot aircraft out of the sky. He works for the CIA. Why would he betray America? He wouldn't. He didn't. Well, part of doing these videos is to share with the world my pain and suffering. It's a way for me to relax. It does. It allows me to relax. It helps me organize my thoughts, and it helps me plan my day. Such as, I'm not going to spend the rest of the day doing a video like this. I'll get it done, get my feelings sorted and organized. I'm going to get working on my how to get rich. See how the 4chan.gay is going. If anybody wants to be moderators, I'll be accepting moderators for it. Okay. I think that's where I'm at. Well, let me thank everybody for being here, starting with the top. Ferrari York, Knives, Spooky, Cruise Control, Nerve Lindsay, Charles Smith, Justin Fleming. It's been fun. I'll see you tonight. Goodbye.